And he goes, oh, they'll sit right in there and they'll listen. And then sometimes they get bored and they'll leave. Sometimes we come in and they'll leave. I see them come in every once in a while. He goes, I've thrown tennis balls and baseballs out there hoping that they'd want to, throw them back at me if they're out there. And he goes, but they never do. They just take them. And I go, what do you mean they just take them? He goes, I went out there after I thrown them and I didn't see them come back for a couple of days. And I go out there and they're gone. I can't find them. And, he said we built a tree house. And he said one time he was going out to the tree house. Now, the tree house, if you went into the woods, you'd walk in, I don't know how many, maybe 5-10 yards. And then there was like a path already that was there kind of. And we'd go around, we went right next to this big, giant old stump that had huckleberry bushes grown out of it. And then just past that, there was this clump of trees, and we built this tree house up like 10, 15 feet up in the air. And he said he just got around that little turn, right past the huckleberries, and he saw one of the younger ones jump out of our tree house. And it seems like there was like no plant the landing and then take off running. He jumped and just was running just as he hit the ground, boom, and just and took off into the woods. And he said he just stopped for a second. He turned around and he came back to the house. Now, we both have had feelings when we were going out to that tree house.
Right.
Like we'd get just inside the woods, maybe a couple of yards, and we'd both look at each other and go like, yeah, let's go back to the house and play Atari or something like that. We had a mini bike. We had a 2-seater go-kart that we would ride up and down this dirt road. And there'd be times when my brother's riding the go-kart with me, he'd go, there she is, there she is, there she is. Like he'd seen the female as well. Mm-hmm. And I kind of whip my head back around real quick. And I just see like something like a shoulder or something move back into the trees as we whip by. I honestly believe that it was a family unit that was out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Dano. So, you know how we were going to talk about 2 other topics on this? Yeah, we're going to talk about this. You really short sold that experience, man. What that is an incredible story. Like you downplayed that at the beginning, like when we were talking. I was like, okay, yeah, but like that is amazing, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I am legitimately right now like awestruck and like blown away. I've got like so many things I want to just bounce around in my head, man.
We were out there for about a year, maybe a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And what really sucks is October 25th of 1985, my dad was, and I'll never forget that day because my dad was almost killed in a car accident. Mm-hmm. And somehow he was able to convince somebody that stopped to see if he was okay to take him to work because he was on his way to work. And when he got to work, they were like, what happened? Oh, I was in a car, I wrecked my car. And they're like, you need to go to the hospital. But he goes, I need to call my boys. So mm-hmm. he thought for the person to take me to work so I call my boys. So here, it's like 4 something in the morning. The phone rings. It's my dad. Daniel, listen, I was in a bad car accident. The car's totaled. I'm going to the hospital. I'm at work right now. Your aunt's going to come and pick you up. Just have your stuff ready. And, we're going to be staying in Tacoma for a while. So grab what you want, and then we'll come back later and get stuff. So I told my little brother what happened. He told me I was lying. I convinced him that I wasn't lying. And we started packing up. And I packed up pretty much everything I wanted. I didn't have a lot of stuff, I didn't grow up a very wealthy person. Everything I had, I was a very minimalist.
Right.
So I just grabbed what clothes I had. If I had a couple little keepsakes, I take those. My radio, stuff like that. I grabbed my dad's records and things like that. And my aunt showed up, picked us up, and we didn't see that place until the following spring because of the accident. My dad couldn't work. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what he was getting paid for like workers' comp or whatever how he was getting paid, it wasn't enough to keep the land. So he lost the land, sold the fifth wheel. And we went out there to clean out anything and everything we wanted because the people who bought the fifth wheel were going to move it off the property because the new property owners wanted it off of there.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.